My name is Salem Sayed. I'm a 7th semester student, CS student. I was accepted as an intern in Dr. Fatma's GUCosc technology camp. I'm sure you all know of it. I'm supposed to be learning iPhone development to be able to mentor and help other people going into this field, provide tutorials, provide guides, provide mentoring mainly. So today I would like to introduce you to iPhone in general, iPhone development in specific, and my progress so far. So today we'll be talking about the iPhone. I'll just not go into much detail. I'm sure you all know of it. Just some info. We'll talk about two types of applications available for the iPhone: the web applications and native applications. We'll go through the development requirements, from hardware requirements to software requirements. We'll also go to the iPhone SDK architecture, how it's built up of more than one thing to allow us to develop interesting applications. We'll then talk about Objective-C, which is the language used primarily by Apple in developing for the iPhone and the iPad and the iPod Touch. We'll then make a sample app, which is basic hello world, like any programming language. So first, the iPhone was introduced in 2007 by Apple. It's a mobile device. Since it was released, it had no applications, no native applications. It was only consisted of web applications developed using web technologies such as HTML and Ajax. The SDK was released in 2008, which allowed developers to develop applications natively using the SDK provided by Apple, which allowed them to use the location APIs, GPS APIs, the camera API, and a lot of APIs not available through web applications. So why the iPhone? Why should you consider developing for the iPhone? Well, as you can see here, the market research done by Nielsen Company in 2010, we can see that the Apple iPhone OS has a market share of about 28%, which puts it in the second place after the BlackBerry OS, which makes it a huge target for many developers, of course. Also, this and if you develop an application, it's only distributed through Apple, which is the Apple App Store, which you get 70% revenue of the outcome of the sales of your application, which gets you a lot of revenue, which is a strong selling point for why you should develop. As you can see, this year, Apple announced that they have paid about $1 billion to developers in revenue since 2008, since the SDK was released, which is a lot of money. So.
Would you prefer that we ask you as we get questions?
Yeah, sure. If you have any questions, sure. Yes.
Okay, let's say I chose to have my application for free on the App Store. Is that possible?
Yes, you can have this for free, but you will not get any revenue from it, of course.
Would Apple get anything?
No. You will have to pay the license, which we'll talk about in a moment, which is $100 a year. But other than that, you don't take anything and you don't take anything.
All right.
You can, however, since the latest firmware update, iOS 4, you can include ads in your application. So you can get revenue by utilizing ads in your application and make it free.
And the competition between the free ones and the ones that shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, is it common that people would pay for an application from the App Store? Is it?
Yes, it's very common. As you can see, it's 1 billion since 2008, which is a big.
And that's because they cannot find anything else to do what they want.
No, okay, it's like this. Many application developers, they make two versions. They make a demo version, which is for free. If it's a game or something, you just level 1 and level 2, and the paid application will have the rest of levels. So you like the game, you get addicted, you buy the full version. And of course, some applications are only paid applications. I can't remember any example, but there's a lot.
Have you ever done it yourself and paid for an app?
No, not really.
I'm just asking because I'm not a heavy user.
No.
Actually, I'm not even a basic user of the iPhone, but I'm thinking what would drive me to pay for it if I have an alternative that is free. That's all.
Not always. There's always an alternative. Some titles by big companies, something like EA Sports, they put their applications, they are paid. You don't have an alternative to something big like EA Sports, a game developed by them. Also, there's no price tag, there's no price limit on the App Store. If you develop an application, you can give it any price from $100 to
Wow. I decide that. I decide.
You decide whatever, and you have absolutely no limit. Unlike the Android, you have a $200 limit.
Okay, great.
Okay. So we'll talk first about web applications. Web applications are just websites optimized for viewing on the iPhone or any other mobile device. They are developed using HTML, CSS, and JS. Specifically now HTML5 and CSS3. They are advanced technologies that allow for a lot of stuff we'll talk about later. So as you can see, this is a sample application. It's a web application. It's a Google Reader. I'm sure you all know it. As you can see, it looks like a native app. It uses the buttons, it uses the sliders, it uses the stuff that's used natively on the iPhone. And there's a lot of frameworks that allows you to use this UI stuff that look like iPhone and use it for the web. Of course, the main advantage for using a web app is you don't have to learn a new language. You don't have to learn Objective-C. You only need to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which you already should know. Also, you can develop on virtually anything. You don't need a Mac, you don't need anything. With a browser, you can just develop your application on it. You don't need anything specific, which gives you a lot of freedom. Also, Apple restrictions. Okay, so if you develop an application and you submit it to the Apple Store, it has to get reviewed. It takes a long review process, like 7 days or something, and it has to pass all restrictions put by Apple. Restrictions like you cannot duplicate any functionalities that Apple already did. You cannot do a browser. You can't have an alternative browser to Safari. You can only use Safari. So if you made an app that's a browser, it will get rejected. So what app you don't have to go through all the systems? Opera is the only one to just rise its review process. It just has the standards. A lot of other browsers were rejected, or only Opera was accepted.
Considering web applications, are there any limitations web applications have that native applications don't have?
Yes, of course. The native application can access the GPS, can access the camera, can access the photo library, can access your iTunes library. Web applications cannot do that.
So at all?
No.
Not even recently?
I think they can only access the GPS, not the camera, not the photo libraries. They cannot allow websites to access those kind of sensitive information.
I know that I know that from this a long time ago they would have a lot of restrictions when it comes to web apps, but it seems there recently some nice frameworks to it, and I believe they have more freedom on the phone. I don't know how far.
I guess you're talking about interpreted code. I guess there's two kinds of, okay. There's the web apps, there's frameworks that give you the UI, and some makes it easy to develop applications that look like native, okay? And there's other apps that you develop using HTML, CSS, JS, and it interprets these codes into Objective-C. So you can submit it to Apple. So when you can use the camera, you can use the GPS, you can use stuff like that, because it will just be translated into Objective-C. But recently, I guess this was forbidden by Apple, yes. The latest license forbidden any application to be accepted in the app stores that's not built natively using Objective-C and Xcode, which is Max IE.
However, and I can still have offline.
Yes, of course, because we're talking about. Okay, one of the main disadvantages of the web apps is the internet access. It's a website, so you need always to be online. But that's not really the case with HTML5, as it supports offline cache support. So this is getting better. Of course, as I said, no access to many APIs like the GPS, like the cameras, like the address book. You cannot access all this sensitive stuff, and you don't have App Store, which is an advantage, as I said, to pass Apple restriction, and a disadvantage as you don't get any revenue. You will only rely on ads on the website itself using AdSense or AdBlock and stuff like that. So native applications. They are developed using Objective-C 2.0, which we'll talk briefly about in a moment. And they're distributed through Apple's App Store. 70% of the revenue goes to the developer. Also, Apple has to approve every app that goes through its long voting process of reviewing. You get more APIs to interact with. You get OpenGL, you get a lot of stuff so you can make interesting and exciting apps. So we will mainly today concentrate on native applications, as is the scope of my internship. So if you want to start developing, what do you need? You need first an Intel Macintosh, a MacBook, an iMac, a Mac Mini, anything that starts with Mac. You need it. You can, however, use it, develop on non-Apple Macintosh hardware, but it's illegal, so it's out of our scope today. You also need Mac OS X Snow Leopard version at least 10.6.4, which is available for retail price of $29, I guess. You need a developer license, which is available in 2 flavors. It's available as free, so you can make an account, register your name, and download the SDK and play with the simulator, which you will see in a moment. Or you will have to pay $100 if you want to gain access to the, if you want to have your app transferred to your real physical iPhone, you have to pay $100. If you want to distribute it through the Apple Store, you have to pay $100. It's per year. It's too much. You also need Xcode, which is Mac's IDE, something like Eclipse. It's way better. The iPhone SDK, both you can download for free after you get your free developer license. So, if I'm going too fast, please stop me or ask me. Right?
I'm fine.
Okay. So, the SDK, it consists of mainly 2 things. Those are the highest level of abstraction. The GUCoTouch, which is a port of the Coco framework, which is used for developing applications on the Mac itself, on the Mac OS X. It's an abstraction layer that provides a lot of APIs for you, so you can interact with multi-touch events, interact with the camera, with the GPS, interact with notifications, everything that's related to the iPhone provides a higher layer of abstraction to it. You interact with GUCoTouch directly, not the hardware. There's also UIKit, which you can see here, that provides the consistent style of buttons, sliders, stuff like that. If you ever play with an iPhone, you'll always see that all apps have the same feel. They're different, but have the same feel, same buttons, same slider, same notifications, same modal pop-ups, same stuff like that. So it's consistent. You have to use UIKit. You cannot use something else. However, you can style them, of course. You can change the button, change the way it looks, but most of the time you'll leave it to be naturally.
There's no custom.
What?
Can I have a custom component? Can I add this?
No, I don't think. No. You can customize them, change the look of the button. So, Objective-C. I'm gonna tell you some history about it first. Okay. Steve Jobs, he's the current CEO of Apple. Okay, he was the co-founder of Apple with Steve Wozniak, I guess, and someone else, I don't remember. After he founded Apple, after some years, I don't remember exactly when, he left Apple. He had a fight with the board and stuff, and he left Apple and he made a new company which is called Next. He developed a new operating system which is called Next Step. This operating system was a failure, it was a big failure. It didn't succeed, didn't have any community. It was based on Objective-C. Objective-C, which was created in the mid-80s. Objective-C mainly used Smalltalk messaging syntax. I don't think you know Smalltalk or you're exposed to it, but we'll get into it later. So, Next acquired its license in 1988, acquired the license of Objective-C. Next was founded by Steve Jobs. Later, Steve Jobs returned to Apple and he acquired Next, which he had founded. So he acquired Next with its license to Objective-C and used the Next Step as the base to develop Mac OS X operating system. And it's the Xcode interface builder. Everything is built upon Next and Next Step operating system. So, Objective-C is a superset of C. You know, basic C, regular C that we all know, just a superset of it. What does it mean, a superset? Well, a superset, it's just like a thin layer above C. I mean, any code written in C can be compiled using an Objective-C compiler. You can write any C code in an Objective-C class. They are superset of C. So basically C with some additions. It inherits object-oriented syntax from Smalltalk. Any interaction with objects in Objective-C is done using Smalltalk syntax, which is called messaging. We'll see in a little bit. Other syntax like functions, variable declarations, everything just like C.
Sorry, Smalltalk or Smalltalk?
Smalltalk is a programming language. It had something named messaging